that is the essence of.
I think looking back, what I've realized now that of my life, like the big part of my adult life, there was nothing else, and we didn't realize that. We didn't realize how big we were getting, and we were just, we were 18, 17 when we signed the first record contract, and then next year we were playing Tokyo, Japan, and we were like, what the fuck is going on? But we never sat down and we were like, are we, oh my god, we're getting big or whatever. We just kept on doing it, and it all went on so naturally, and it was, looking back, it was a crazy ride, and it's like, it's the total opposite of what happens in music business now. That like they calculate, they make these exact songs that the radio stations is asking for and whatever the bullshit, whatever. But we were just fucking 5 kids from Espoo, Finland, who loved heavy metal. Well, they did. I just recently joined, but and then we just felt good together, playing our music together, and it was fun for us. It was so much fun for us,
and it went so fast. There was no kind of like time to stop.
How old were you when you finished?
When we finished,
Yeah.
The last show, you mean?
What? Yeah, the last show and the whole band disbanded.
I was 40.
Yeah, I was 39. Yeah.
Yeah, I was 40 and he was 39, and
So
yeah.
Yeah, what I mean is, like, when you say you got emotional, the last gig was so emotional, and I get it. It's like, the biggest chunk of your life,
Yeah.
probably for the time being. Like, when you say it was so emotional, what was the thing that you thought you were, you were going to miss the most?
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
The fan base.
For me it was of course also the thing that it's the last time most likely I play with these guys, and then maybe the biggest thing was to see all the people there, especially in the ice hall when there was how many, 2,500, 3,000 people, and all those faces in the front row, a lot of familiar faces like everywhere, and of course just playing the music, and like I said many times in interviews that during In Your Face, the quite iconic riff, I started to cry because I realized that this is the last time I'm playing this riff, most likely in my life, and I remember I had to turn away because I don't know, I was embarrassed to cry, but I'm almost crying again.
Yeah.
But it's all combination of all those things. But I think what you're asking for is like the whole community that we had, and unfortunately the show was so. Excuse my emotions here.
Okay.
It was so short notice that a lot of people couldn't make it there.
Yeah.
Like for example.
Yeah. We had very different plans for the bands,
I
and
don't remember. What year was the last show?
2019.
2019, yeah, 4 years ago.
Yeah, I didn't know about it. I mean,
Yeah.
I was here and I didn't know.
Right before the pandemic, but we had very different plans for how to end the band. And Alex had already agreed, but then what really happened just happened, and then no one knew that the pandemic is going to kick in.
Yeah.
So in our what happened to us was kind of, and I also kind of replying to your question earlier. I also felt a sense of relief on stage because I was very tired of Alex's problems and constant problems with, one guy, and then this guy who was our best friend and who wrote all the music, and all of a sudden from 2016 on just became someone I didn't recognize anymore. He was a different person, and he was so overcome with his disease and problems, and that it got to the point when 2019 we decided that this can't go on anymore. And then this was the last show. It was short notice, and we had so much better plans for how to say goodbye to all the international fans, how to do a proper farewell around the world tour and whatever. But now something we did not know was the pandemic, obviously, and that would have canceled all of those plans anyway. So
it was kind of like, in a way, we are lucky that we had this confrontation within the band that made us to decide to drop it earlier than we were supposed to and have this final show. that was recorded.
Yes.
Because if you would have kept on to the original plan with Alexi, that let's do a farewell tour, 2022 until 2022, I think it was. So then the pandemic would have ruined everything, and we probably would have never had this kind of last, you know, proper like souvenir.
Yes, I mean, so many things. Like we said in interviews, like so many things happened during the year of 2019.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
But did it ever come to your mind that you could take a longer break and then maybe individually you needed time to cool off?
Yes,
That would have been like a
that's a good question.
mature way of
yes,
dealing with it.
Yes, but in a sense, our manager at the time, Steve did ask me that at the eve of the last show. Steve asked me that, are you ever going to play with Alexi again? And I said, I would only if he would seek help and become fully sober. And I knew that wasn't an option. That he had decided at that point, unfortunately, that he's just going to die by his addictions, which is horrible and it's very sad. But I knew him well enough that there was no way that he's going to get better. And then that's why somehow it was, you know, also a relief for me the last show. I realized that I need to let go.
The problems were pretty bad, and I mean, like within the band, like all the relations, and I don't think anybody could see like a future anymore. So that was the only option at the time. I'm sure that Steve, our manager, had some hopes of a reunion show within some years. Of course, because he's a businessman. But I didn't even, you know, it didn't even cross my mind.
No.
That time.
It's
But
hard when you are in the action.
yeah.
No,
If you
you're
step
right.
Back, you know,
You're
because
absolutely
you were so
correct.
young when you started.
Right.
Of course, individually you grow up.
Yes.
And then you have families and
Exactly.
stuff.
No,
Everybody
no,
changes.
you are absolutely correct. But that's why I said that at the time. I said that I will never play again with Alexi, and then because I knew that he will not get sober, he will not get help for his problems, and then it would have been a totally different opinion. I would, you know, if somehow any of us would have felt that okay, Alexi is gonna get help, he's gonna get better. All of us would have been like, okay, fine, let's give him a couple of years and then let's get back together. But that was not foreseeable at the time.
At the time it was an impossibility.
I still have a question. Like, if you had one